Hello, hello, everyone. How we all doing this evening? Figured I'd kind of pop on. Dennis is doing his stream right now. He might eventually pop over. I just let him know that I'd be over here. Anyone else wanna hop on here and we can chat, have some fun, maybe get a couple laughs in. You know, how you doing, Frank? Who else is on here? Hey, Marie. Yeah, there's a lot of really good people out there that are doing trucking out there. The industry overall has a lot of very good people in it. It's just that some that aren't so great, you know, you know how it goes. The good people don't get the attention. The ones that cause the problems do, and then the trucking industry gets you know, a black eye because of that. And people are like, oh no, it's truckers, all this other crap, and it's not really true. Most of the people, I mean, I even have aunts and uncles who are and were truckers and are very good people. And so I know that truckers, generally speaking, are just like the rest of us, except they drive a truck for a living. It's the only thing that makes them a little bit different than the rest of us. Uh, Anybody else hopping on yet? How many people are on this feed right now? What you up to, Frank? Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Well, it looks like all I have is like maybe one person on the feed. I can't see how many people. Hey, Charlie, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good myself. I'm off the next 2 days from working at Chili's as a well, supposed to be working as a prep chef, but they had me doing dishes because they fired the dishwasher for not doing his job. Go figure. Then they give me a hard time about it, but then they start leaving me alone when they realize that actually I do my work. Hmm, who knew? Hey, Marie. I'm just kind of kicking back, relaxing right now, and as you can see, trying to chat with a few people and you know see how everybody's doing out there in TTV land, and taking a few moments to kick back, relax, maybe get some other people on this live chat along with me to interact with and probably get a couple good laughs and stuff like that. Good night, Charlie. See you around there, buddy. Uh, hoping a few more people hop on. Has everybody got notifications of this? I know I got it. I was on the feed with Dennis a few moments ago, and I let him know that I was going to hop over here and see what's going on and start chatting with whomever. And I hope more people hop on soon and stuff like that. I'd like to see more people start and interact on here a little bit more. Yeah. I guess there's some people in the background causing problems for this group here. And they're not even remotely willing to own up to their shenanigans, so to speak. And I think they're just afraid. You know how some people, they like to turn around and create problems, then they run and hide. And people are trying to figure out who in the heck is causing all the issues, and the people are in the back, a little bit way behind the scenes, creating a disturbance. And then every time that they see that people are maybe starting to notice them, they run and hide and disappear. I mean, after a while, it just can, because I've dealt with the same thing in my life. I've had a lot of people try to create problems for me. They knew if I found out who did it, they'd have other problems themselves. So they ran and hid, and then I found out who did it, and, well, I excluded them from being in my life. And things improved. Who knew? Hey, Pam, how's it going? As you can see, I'm the only one that's really chatting here and stuff. Thank you for opening it up, Frank. I appreciate it. So at least then I can talk with people and start to interact. I'm doing okay. I had a long day today. I walked into nothing but a headache at work. They didn't really have much done and ready for the morning for any kind of real prep. We walked in, we had to put away a load, and then I walked into the men's room, and there were paper towels and toilet paper all over the floor. I walked into the stall, and somebody had popped open the toilet paper dispenser and just left it open, and that's why there was such a mess in the men's room and everything like that. And I just walked in and went, really? And I got the manager, and she took pictures of it to show the general manager, because it had been left that way from the night before. Nobody took care of it. So as soon as she took the pictures, I just quickly neatened everything up, cleaned it up, tidied it all up, and got my job done. Then all kinds of other things were going wrong, and so it was just not a really great day. And so, but in the end, it all ended well, and we got everything caught up and cleaned up and reorganized and back to the way it's supposed to be. You know, the usual headaches you run into in life. Then you just got to muddle through it and fix everything up and hope that the people that come in after you don't screw it up again. But deep down inside, you kind of steel yourself for the eventuality that they will. Then you go back in and you start from ground zero again. go from there. Yeah. No, I don't work at TA. I work at Chili's in North Greenbush, New York, outside of Albany. And know that it's a headache, but I've had 15 different jobs in my life. And every single one, I run into the same problem. Other people just don't give two hoots about how they do their jobs. They go in, they do as little as they can, they complain they don't make enough, and then they leave. And they usually leave behind a mess for the next person because they just don't care about their jobs. I do. I've always cared about my jobs. Every boss I've ever had have always said that I'm a man of integrity and that I care. And a lot of them say I care too much about what I do. I even told my bosses, my current managers, I said, if I do a job, I want to make sure it's done right the first time. I take pride in my work. And I get annoyed when they go after me saying, "Oh, I want you to get all this stuff done." Like you have 5 more minutes, and I'm in the middle of trying to get things done right. Then I get like, really? You want me to do my work half-ass? That's just not me. And everybody around me knows it. Knows that I take pride in my work. It shows. When you take pride in your work, you get quality work out, and it shows. When you don't take pride in your work, that shows too. And in the end, people suffer because you don't take pride in your work. In one way, shape, or form, people will suffer from your lack of pride and integrity. But it seems to be the way the world is. There aren't too many more people out there that take pride and have integrity. Really, it's almost like a lost art. And it's sad. If you ask me, it's very sad. Yeah, I know. Hey, Alberto. I know. And nobody really. I know. It, it just strikes me as wrong. There's so many people out there who don't give two hoots about what they're doing. They do as little as they can, and they try to get more for what little bit they do. And then they get promotions. And they get treated really well, and they're laughing and they're joking around with everybody, and they're friends with the bosses. And then there I am working steady. I don't even take a moment to get a drink of water. I don't take any breaks. I don't take a lunch. I don't do any of that. I work straight through, steady. And the bosses treat me like crap. I get my job done. I get it done well. And the bosses treat me like dirt. And they treat those that don't do their job and that drag their heels and they lollygag and they're all sneaking out for a cigarette. They're always talking and walking around and not paying attention to what they're doing. And then the bosses go and hang out with them after work, and oh, they're having so much fun. They're all laughing and they're all having just the most wonderful time out there. And those people actually get the kudos. And those people get everything. I get nothing. My headaches. I'm treated like dirt. Walked all over. Every job, it's been that way. And they give them the easier stuff to do. And they give me the most tedious crap that nobody wants to do. And I get it done. And then I leave. Then I go back the next day. Right back to the grind. But they don't want to get rid of me. Because they know if they did, things would fall apart in a real quick hurry. When I got there, the dishwasher they had there at that time, he didn't do his job. He would run and hide. He would hide all the time. A lot of times they were looking around and they couldn't find him because he left. Didn't even tell anybody anything. He just turned around and walked out and left. He would do that all the time, I guess. And then I'd show up and they'd fire him and they had me washing dishes. And I told him, I said, I hate doing dishes. And I told him, I said, I didn't go and take culinary school to have to do dishes all the time. And they keep telling me, oh, we got somebody coming in, we got somebody coming. Nobody shows up. Oh, the guy had to go get a COVID test. He wants to come in, but he's not feeling well. 2 weeks later, he still hasn't shown up. I think they're lying to me. But you know what? It's going to come back to bite them if they are. At some point, I'm going to finally look and go, where the heck is another dishwasher? Oh, well, bye. Then they lose somebody who's real good at prep and somebody who actually, does their job and takes pride in their work, in everything that they do, including the dishes. There's an indication for you. Always be careful when you go to a restaurant. Sometimes they don't do the dishes the right way. And it ends up with old food scraps still in the supposedly clean dish that contaminates the food. Next thing you know, you have foodborne illnesses. I'm ServSafe certified. So is my GM and my other managers, I believe. Or at least they were before. Maybe they let lapse. Well, anyways, they should know better. Question is, do they really care? Not necessarily. cat's out of the bag. It's no matter which restaurant you go to. I've walked into the kitchens of some of the restaurants that I was applying at. I literally turned around and walked right back out. Some of them have leaky roofs that have not been fixed since who knows when. Some of them have mold in their coolers and in their freezers. Some of them have food scraps on the floors that have been there so long that they're nothing but mold. There's some real nightmares out there. And some of the restaurants that look like real high-end restaurants have kitchens that are nightmares. The outside looks nice. The dining area is kept nice, but the kitchen can be a whole different story. That's the truth. You never know. hmm Some of them don't use like the sanitation buckets. They don't use them. Some of them don't wipe their prep areas after between jobs. They just go from one to the other to the other to the other, and with totally different ingredients. Like sometimes they'll do prep chicken. Instead of cleaning the area after the chicken, they go right to beef. Cross contamination. There's some very bad practices out there that I've witnessed myself. It's a nightmare sometimes. Just thought I'd give you a little heads up. Honestly, sometimes I think you'd be better off cooking your own food at home. Just a thought. Hey, Arnie. I hear you, Arnie. Good thing you have Twinkies. Hey, Patty. Yeah, I know. Trust me. If I was a state certified inspector, a lot of these restaurants probably wouldn't pass my inspection. Actually, the funny thing is, this state inspector showed up at Chili's. I'd worked with her before. I walked right up to her, gave her a big hug, and said, I haven't seen you in ages. I worked with her at the Riverside Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. She was my boss at that place. That was funny. And of course, my manager looked at me and said, who don't you know? He said, there aren't very many people I don't. And the inspector was really glad to see me there. Because her and I at the rehabilitation center there, we both we'd talked and stuff about that place, and we agreed that things left a little bit to be desired there. So she knows that I'm smart, and she knows I'm on top of it, that I know what I'm doing. And I'm not one to shy away from letting people know things are being done wrong. I'll tell them. Yep. What do I do at Chili's? Right now, I'm doing dishes and I'm making chips. Well, like frying the chips and stuff like that. But I'm hoping to get back to doing more prep. Every once in a while, when they're running a little tight on their prep, they'll have me go over and help them with prep a little bit. And I zip it right off, no problem, get everything done. And actually, lately, I've been stepping in and helping to cook up, to saute onions lately. So I've been increasing my workload there little bit by little bit and trying to get into doing better things than dishes. Then my managers come over and say, "Oh, Jack," they start doing the dishes and have me on the other side of the machine, and I'd be handing them half the stuff back, saying it's dirty, needs to be cleaned better. And then they kick me away from the dish because I'm driving them nuts. Because they'd much rather just have the dishes done. And not exactly always done right. They know that I'm inspecting their dishes. They don't like it. Oh well, somebody's got to do it. If I ever had my own restaurant, that place would be, oh man, things to be clean. At night, I would have my staff take all the tables, move them out of the way, sweep under them, give them a quick mop, put them back, put all the chairs back, tear the place apart at night, clean it the right way, put it all back together, and things to be done. And I would have them work together as a crew to get it done. Two people move the tables and the chairs. Another person sweeps. Another person follows with a mop. And then the two people put everything right back. Or two other people do it. Like they follow right along. They just work together as a crew to get everything accomplished all at once. Kitchen that had probably at least two people doing prep. At least two people doing prep, if not more, depending on how much business my place would get. Pretty sure I'd get a lot. I'd be doing like hoagies and fajitas, like chicken and steak hoagies and chicken and steak fajitas, which would mean that I would be prepping a lot of chicken, a lot of beef, and I'd be using um, strip steaks and stuff like that, sirloin roast or whatever. I'd be using good quality meats, cutting them into strips, having those strips cooked, okay, nicely seasoned, and then put us, and then portioned and put aside. And then all it would have to do is be warmed up and put in and have the sauteed onions and peppers added to it. And you'd have your fajita and put it in a hoagie bun. Put some provolone cheese on it. Melt it. Heat it up, melt it in the oven at 350 degrees for about like 15, 20 minutes. So it's nice and warm and nice and hot and everything. And serve it. There's your chicken or steak hoagie. Good stuff. Either that or I just heat up the meat, warm up then put it in the hoagie bun and the meat and the sauteed peppers and onions. Then I put it in the hoagie bun, stick it in the oven for a little bit, melt the cheese on it, crisp up the hoagie bun a little, and there's your chicken or steak hoagie. And the fajitas, I just warm everything up, and I'd put all the other stuff with it, like the guac, the salsa, the pico de gala, and like your sour cream, some like chives if you want, maybe a little container of chives you can add to it, stuff like that, and a couple warmed up soft taco shells, wraps, so you can make your fajitas. Boom. There you are. That would just be one of my items that I'd do at my restaurant. I would have for breakfast, I'd make crepes. I'd make all kinds of stuff, crepes, and I'd make waffles and pancakes. And I would have huge batches of batter made up. And then I would add your strawberries, blueberries, bananas, um, like your chocolate chips, all kinds of good stuff. Added to the huge smaller portions of the batter and mixed up, and then make the pancakes that way, one after another. And a slightly thicker batter. I'd have a thicker batter that I would use for the waffles. And I'd have like 4 waffle irons going. So you could just whip off waffles for breakfast. I mean, crepes, those are easy to make. Little like water with your flour, and you put a little salt in there, and you take it and you pour and you do like a thin batter with that, and all you do is you put a little scoop of that on the pan, let it go out nice and smooth, then you flip it over, and there's your crepe. Cook it up, and there's your crepe. Then you can make like your eggs and stuff, and then you roll it up. You got a crepe. Who knew? Easiest thing ever to make. CREPE, crepe. Oh, I can learn how to make beef Wellington. I gotta learn how to make it though. I I know it's good, but I just need to learn how to make beef Wellington. Honey, you're killing me, Smalls. Actually, I think Dennis is getting loaded. He's gonna get loaded up, and then he's gonna head out there and towards his next destination. Wants to get a jump start. Anybody else want to hop on this live chat with me so we can talk person to person, so to speak? Want to hop on here, Arnie? Say hi to everybody. What do what do I do at Chili's right now? I'm washing dishes. You're funny. You're funny, Pam. Anytime, Pam. Anytime. Haha, you're real funny. Ay, ay, ay. Missed the spot. Oh, you're real funny, Robert. Uh, but I'd put up with in a day. Ha! Because they're killing me. You're hiding in the corner, Arnie. You're killing me. Why me? I must just be a glutton for punishment. What can I say? I gotta love it. But I do enjoy being in this group. It's a lot of fun. Gives me a chance to talk with people and interact. Got a lot of friends all over the world, I guess you could say, which is kind of nice. Well, as a dishwasher, they have a machine. Okay. Pretty much what it does is it sprays the dishes a little bit with like soapy water, rinses them, and then sprays them with some sanitizer. It doesn't really quite clean the dishes, to say the least. Some people don't seem to get that memo. Just sprays with hot water and stuff like that. So what I do is I hit it with a sprayer, and I try to knock off all of the crud off the dishes and try to get them as clean as I can before I put them in the dishwasher. Then the machine just does a little bit of a wash, sanitizes, and then the dishes are good. Hopefully. Hopefully they're good. Or at least they're better than some of the other people that just try to shove the dishes through maybe twice if you're lucky, and then say that they're clean. Even though there's big glaring chunks of old food still in a container. I'm telling you. I still eat the food there. Haven't gotten sick yet because of my coworkers. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm working for other people. I want to have my own restaurant. And my mother keeps telling me I need more experience. And everybody tells me I don't know how to run a business. But I do. I know how to run a business. Nobody will let me if they don't think I can do it. You know? Keeping a man down. Hey, Carl, somebody can probably put up the link for you to go into the live stream here. If you can scroll way up, there might be a link way up at the top of the scroll. Do I listen to anyone? Not too well. If you ask anybody that knows me, they go, Jack, you don't listen to anyone. Okay, so Truckers TV says that the link has been pinned, so someone wants to hop on, you can hop on and we can chat. And also to have a business, it takes money to get it started. Or investors that are willing to invest in you and have faith that you'd be able to do things the right way. Or a mixture of all the above. Maybe that's the reason. You want to know why I can hold a job? Okay. I can hold any job I want. Thing is, it's the way that the places are run. I usually leave them just before they fall flat in their face. Because I see the writing on the wall. Or they just drive me nuts and I just leave. Because I can't stand the way they manage the place. $33 accounts, that's not bad. Do I have a business proposal put together? Maybe I should write one up. I think I might start working on that pretty soon, writing up a business proposal. And then I'll give it to my mother and say, here's my business proposal. This is what I want to do. Well, maybe not the corporation itself, but maybe they might want to look at the managers running their individual stores and change things up a little, or train them better, or do something along that line. You know? I listen. I communicate with them all the time. That's I always communicate with my bosses. I let them know how things are going. Sometimes they don't like what I got to say, but they know I got to say it. And they know that when I say it, it's got to be said. And they look at what's going on. They can see that I'm not lying. Then the question is, do they care to fix it? That's always a big question. At Price Chopper, I had managers that knew I did my job and they knew I did it extremely well, but they would turn around and tell me I didn't do my job because they were a bunch of jerks. They told me I didn't do my job because my coworkers weren't doing their jobs. And they knew that my coworkers weren't doing it, but they didn't want to have to go after my coworkers because they knew they'd be wasting their breath. This happened to me a lot too. I go in the morning and there's crumbs all over the tables and there's crumbs on the floors. I look at my managers. I'm like, how come they can't sweep up the floors and wipe the seats off and the tables? Oh, well, we have our lights turned down in the evening for ambiance, so they can't see what's going on. And I just look at them and I walk away. Just look at it like, really? That's your excuse? I don't even say a word and I just walk away. They know that that's not an excuse. Yes, they do get a little irritated with me, but they know and then they go out there after I'm done and they go, wow, Jack, you did a really good job. And I look and go, thank you. It's like, a lot of my managers run into that problem. I do a good job and I take pride in my work. I don't mean to be egotistical or anything, but I only tell the truth. I had other managers that, well, I had a man-hating lesbian as a manager, actually. I know she was because I was walking by the manager's office. She was in there talking with other managers. And right out of her own mouth, she said these words, I don't like men. Man, did I put on a brace and back up? I was like, did I just hear that right? I didn't say anything, but I got, whoa, wait a second. Okay, confirmation. I knew it all along, anyways. She was after me since the day she walked into that Price Chopper to be the CSM. She told me that, oh, I have a brother who has Asperger's. I'm going to be your best advocate. And then she said, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm investigating your bottle receipts. She's going to be my best advocate, and then she's calling me a thief. Advocate, adversary. Which one is it? Adversary. Her and I were at each other's throats from that moment on. My mother went in there and confronted him with things that I told my mother. And they're like, no, no, we didn't. No, no, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Then my mother looked and said, what, you're calling my son a liar? They looked like deer caught in headlights. They couldn't say a word. I don't lie too much. I try not to. I know everybody can and will tell lies. But I always try to keep it truthful. Probably because I portray my dislike for LBGTQ. I didn't have my mother go to my boss. My mother didn't like the way they were treating me. Hmm. Well, actually, she went after me. It wasn't me going after her. And she actually told me that she was a lesbian, which is wrong. It's not that I don't like them. It's that, okay, here's my philosophy. Here's the way I see it. Okay. I am a Christian. All right. If they leave me alone, if people that are on in that group, okay, they don't include me in the conversations about that part of life. If they leave me alone, fine. To each their own. But if they try to force their views on me, I don't take that. I don't have to take that. I don't force my views on them. I don't do that. To each their own. Everybody lives their life the way they want to. It's between them and God. That's the way I see it. In the end, that's the way it is. And I've had quite a few people in that group, the LGBTQ community, try to force their lifestyles on me. I try to walk away from it. It's not that I don't like them. Even in the Bible, it says, love the sinner, not to sin. That is exactly what it says in the Bible. Love the sinner, but not the sin. Okay? I love the sinner. I love people. It's just sometimes what they do is I just don't want to be around it. That's the way I am. And also, just so you know, you can't choose not to hire somebody because of their religious views. If they are qualified for the job and they're able to do the job, pretty much, and just because of their religious views or whatever, You can't choose not, if it's proven that you chose not to hire them because of their religious views or their views pro or against something, as long as they keep that to themselves during their job, they're good to go. As long as they don't act on it, they're good to go. And it's that simple. I'm not forcing my views on you. Oh, please, I'll get staff. I don't have whatever. I go out. You know what? People can choose to attack me any way they want. They're not going to affect me. Well, I know how hard and rough it is out there. I'm not under any opinion that it's not hard and rough out there. And I work with people that are LGBTQ. I don't force my views on them. I just make it understood that if they try to force their views on me, it's not going to fly. I don't force my views on them. I just live with them. I just do what I got to do. I'm friends with them. But if they try to force their views on me, I walk away. I don't attack them for it. I try to get away from them. And if they go after me and they keep trying to force their views on me, then there might be other issues. But they don't usually do that. I'm actually a really good guy, I'm very tolerant. It's just that one manager was trying to force her views on me, and that's where the problems arose from. And that's when I moved over to the Chatham store. And then shortly, about 6 months after I left the Hudson store, that store closed permanently. And now it's a ShopRite. And trust me, bullying, I have been severely bullied. Severely. In my last job, okay, over at the Columbia Golf and Country Club, I worked with this jerk. He threatened my life multiple times. And he was LGBTQ. He threatened my life. I didn't threaten him. I didn't do anything to him. He threatened my life because he knew that I was straight and he didn't like it. He also knew I was a born again Christian because he was talking about religious views, and I said, I'm a born again Christian. And he said that he thought that all born again Christians should die. And he started threatening my life. I didn't force my views on him. I just told him that, hey, this is what I am. Okay. So I have been severely bullied my whole life, and especially because I have autism. And it was also a filthy, rotten pig. He was saying real nasty things about some of the girls there, too. And he was harassing the girls about that nasty crap. Yeah, he got fired. It is a challenge. And I also know that in the restaurant industry, there's a lot of people that are different. You get a lot of people that come from all different walks of life. And I know that. I try to get along with all of them. Or I just mind my own business and do my job. And then I leave. And I just chat with them like I would anybody else. With everybody the same. Joke around, have a couple laughs, and move on. It's the way I am at work. If somebody comes at me with problems with me, I just look at them and I try to walk away from them because I don't want problems. I don't force my views on people. If they ask me a question, yeah, I answer them. If they say, if they talk about religion, I say, yeah, I'm a born again Christian. And they talk about everything. That was weird. I am 46 years old and I'd have 15 different jobs. Some of them I went back to twice. And others I just moved on from. And I was laid off from quite a few of them. Some of them I quit. I gave my 2 weeks notice and moved on. I've never had, let's see, actually, I've had coworkers attack me. Literally attack me. I had one manager hold a knife to my throat. Well, he was high on pot and his girlfriend had left him and he was having all these personal problems. So he went after me instead as a result. I didn't do it. As far as I know, I didn't do anything to bring it on. He just went after me. That was my first job at Burger King in Great Barrington when that thing used to be open back in 95. Yep. I had another coworker attack me, pick me right up off the roof and throw me on my back on the roof because he was shooting me with an automatic staple gun. And I told him that he could put my eye out and cause me serious harm. So he grabbed me and threw me on my back on the roof. Guy was a lunatic. He got fired on the spot, of course, and run right out of the building. That was Empire Homes. Yeah. It's only recently that this whole LGBTQ thing started becoming more of a thing. And I really don't have any problem with that, honestly. As long as I'm left out of it, I'm good. I just live my life. That's the way I see it. Leave me out of it, everything's fine. We're all human. Hey, Terry. And Pam, the thing I like is the restaurant industry. I finally found somewheres where I'm happy, where I can work at something that I love to do, and that's cooking. That's cool, Christopher. Because she emphasized that she was. That was where the problem lie with her, not with me. But she was trying to force that issue on me. That's where the problem lied. I have taken a culinary course. I'm a certified chef. I went to the Educational Opportunity Center up in Troy. I took a culinary course and I got a B plus in it. Okay. And I'm Serve Safe certified. But every time I go to a restaurant, all they do is make me do dishes. I don't know why. I don't understand why they make me do dishes. Because nobody else wants to do the damn things? I don't know. It's really aggravating. I go there, I apply, and I take a job to be a prep chef and to be cross trained for a line cook. And then they put me in dishes because I have autism. I guess that's probably what it is. I have autism, and that's discrimination. See, there's a lot of lines where you can be discriminated against. I know. I applied for cooking jobs, and only cooking jobs, but they shoved me right in the dishes. Ugh. I, I I don't understand. I just don't understand. That's the thing. I wish somebody could explain to me, why would a boss, when you are hired, you apply for and are hired as a prep chef and a line cook. Okay. Why would they put you in dishes? You can do the job. I can do the job. And they put me right in dishes. I proved to them that I can do the job and I can do it exceedingly well. And they put me right in dishes. Sometimes I think it's because I do my job too well. And I have coworkers who don't like that because they've been there longer than me. And they see that I can do the job as good, if not better than them, honestly. And they are friends with the boss, with the managers. And they get the managers to put me in dishes so that I'm not threatening their seniority. With Because I've run into that actually at quite a few other jobs. At Quad Graphics, when I worked there, the managers hated to see me go when they had to let me go because my coworkers were singling me out for ridicule and abuse. And my coworkers weren't liking the fact that I was learning the press inside and out. I actually had mechanics give me the blueprints for the printing presses. The blueprints. And they had me crawling all over the printing press, greasing every single grease fitting. I put grease in a press. I greased the whole press inside and out. And whatever grease fittings I couldn't get access to, I circle them on the press so that the mechanics can go back and fix those fittings that were either missing or were set up where they couldn't get ready access to them. They could fix it. I went back to the mechanics and to the foreman of the press, and I showed them the schematic after I was done. And they looked at me and they said, "We haven't used those rollers in like 10, 15 years. And you greased and you cleaned them." They said, "Why did you do that?" I said, "Well, it had to be done." No sooner did I actually grease and clean those rollers and that part of the press that hadn't been used in like 15 years. A week later, it was used. They had an impression that had to go through that press where they had to utilize those rollers and the part that I greased and fixed and got working the right way. And they thanked me for it later. They said, "How did you know that?" I said, "Well, I knew that eventually the whole press would end up being utilized again. I just wanted to make sure it was ready when it was. And there you are. It was ready. When I do a job, I do it thoroughly. I do it well, and I make sure it's done right. And if it isn't, I get irritated because I want to make sure it's done. And if I do something wrong, I get upset. And I try to figure out how to do it better for the next time. For the next time, I try to figure out how can I do this better? How can I improve upon my abilities? And I strive to do so. Isn't that the way you're supposed to be as an employee? Well, actually, yeah, I do care. Sometimes too much. And they forced me out of there, out of Quad Graphics, the world's second largest printing company. They have an outfit, one of their outfits up in Saratoga Springs, New York. And they forced me out of there because of my coworkers. I called up to apply there again, and one of the guys that was a jerk to me ended up being the press room manager at that time. And when I said my name is Jack DeBoer, he said that they will not hire me. He said, no, we will not hire you. I said, why? He said, because you were ridiculed here. And I said, that's against the law, and he hung up. Well, I do tell them because I have to. If I don't tell them that I have autism and something happens, then they go, why didn't you tell us you had autism? I have Asperger's. It's a very highly functional autism spectrum disorder. And I tell them that. And they go, oh, well, we do know about Asperger's. I'm like, okay. And I say I'm very high, very, very high functioning. And then they put me in dishes. And I'm like, because they hired a stupid dishwasher for not doing his damn job. They fired him. And they keep telling me that they have somebody coming in, but nobody ever comes in. What a headache. And I'm like, come on. I even threatened already to give him my 2 weeks notice. And I'm just holding out for a little longer to see if they'll actually, get somebody else to come in and do dishes. But if they don't, I'll say, if you guys aren't going to get somebody in to do dishes, tell me. Tell me if you want me to be, if your plan is for me to be stuck doing dishes. You know? Because they do put me in, they do have me do a little bit of prep work for them. And I have worked the line a little bit, sauteing onions and stuff like that, and I got it done right. So I'm proving to them that I can do everything. Slowly but surely, I'm proving it to them. Whenever they'll give me a chance, whenever Actually, they don't even give me a chance. I just take it because I see them walk away and I see that something needs to be done, and I do it. They go, "Hey, Jack, good job." I go, "Thank you." You know, "Hey, Jack, good job." "Hey, Jack, can you take care of this for me?" "Sure." "Hey, I got it." And I always tell them, all you have to do is show me what to do, and I'll do it. Show me what to do, show me how to do it, I'll get it done. And I do every time. And I do it in a timely fashion. And then sometimes people tell me, "Oh, Jack, don't worry about others and what they're doing." But what am I going to compare what I do to? I got to compare it to my coworkers, right? That's the only way you can compare your job is, hey, so and so's doing their job this way. Here's what I do. Here's the comparison. See my coworkers slacking off and taking their sweet time doing the same prep that I got in trouble for not doing fast enough, and I'm doing it faster than them. I'm like, what's up with this? You know? Here you are jumping on me, telling me to do it twice as fast. I look over and I see them taking their sweet time, going, thump, thump, and I go, bam, 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 just slamming away. Bam, bam, bam. I'm going right through it. And they're like, doom, doom. And I'm like, what's up with this? They're, they're, they're doing it 4 times slower than I did. What's what's up with this? Then the manager's rah, 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 rah. Because favoritism. They're friends with them. I've run into that so many times I lost counting jobs. Oh, the manager's friends with this person, but they're not friends with you, Jack. So they're going to give you a hard time and let them slide. How's that supposed to be right? I mean, then they say, "Oh, don't worry about so and so." No. Who am I going to compare to? I got to use something for a comparison, don't I? In life, isn't that the way it's supposed to be in life? You compare yourself to somebody else. Say, "Hey, this is the job I'm doing. This is the job they're doing. So, okay, I see that they're doing a better job doing it faster than me." Um, then you go over to them and you ask them, "Can you please help me to improve my job?" Or ask the manager, "How can I improve? Can you show me different techniques?" Stuff like that. You know, you always got to try to help bring each other up in life, right?
Here you go. Check this out, guys. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Dennis, get the phone. Get the phone. Oh, you're fucking kidding me. God damn it, go. Let's go.
Oh, Mayday!
Are you fucking
Mayday!
kidding
Mayday! Mayday!
Man down.
Drop the,
Man down.
he fucking dropped the pole in the
Dennis.
stupid something.
Dennis. What the fuck did you do to me?
Yeah, pretty much. I've lost every single job, pretty much because of coworkers. Not because I couldn't do the job, not because I didn't do the job well, and stuff like that. It was mostly because of coworkers. Thank you, JML. It's a definite challenge dealing with people. See, people with Asperger's tend to be very smart. Okay. We tend to have very high IQs. People with Asperger's, look at people that are normal, whatever the heck that is. That's a whole nother discussion. Being normal or not normal. But we refer to the normal people as neurotypicals. Okay. Because they're usually typical. And yes, some people say I look down my nose. They feel like I look down my nose at them. You know what I always say to that? I can't help it. It's in front of my face. I got to look down my nose all the time. There's my offbeat sense of humor. Yes, there is a. In regards to what, Janet, is it respect on my part and respect on from other people? Yes, there is a there's a severe lack of understanding, a lack of training in how to work with people with autism. Yes, and people on the spectrum have been more and more diagnosed as of late. It's becoming a more widely diagnosed disorder. And spectrum actually has ADD, ADHD, there's autism, there's Asperger's, high functioning autism, very high functioning autism, low functioning autism. There's so many disorders that are on that spectrum. It's unbelievable. So you would think that they would actually, start training people in how to better manage and live with those who are on the spectrum. And I've come across people with Asperger's and high functioning autism, or even autism, that they stem by guttural, oh, oh, oh. And they also start flapping their hands a lot, or they have tics. My tic is a cough. That's one of my nervous tics. I have a tendency to cough. I have a couple other things that I do because of my disorder. People with autism and on the spectrum usually tend to talk in a monotone. I only learned about my disorder at the age of 26. 26 years old. I went all the way through all of my schooling with Asperger's, not even having a clue that I had it. All I knew was there was something different about me. There was something a little off, if that's one way to put it, about me. Something not really quite normal. Which made me a target for bullies. A huge target for bullies. My sister, who's 11 months older than me, she would actually try to protect me from bullies. She would go after the bullies on my behalf. And then I moved away to live with my father on Fort Plain, New York. I no longer had my sister to watch my back. That's when I started having to fight the bullies myself. Well, suffice to say, I've never lost a fight to date. I sent a lot of bullies to the hospital in my life. Yeah, I sent them to the nurse's office, a couple to the hospital. Yep. Not really proud of it, but at the same time, I am. I don't want to hurt people. I hate hurting people. But when it comes to it, if it's between them and me, personally, I'd much rather be them. Honestly. I should have went to the service. Well, you know what? I tried. I got a 98 on my ASVAB and 95 on my other test to get into the military. Some of the highest grades that you can get on both tests. The only thing that got in the way was my ears. I have a hearing deficit, and at that time I had a cholesteatoma and didn't even know it in my right ear. I didn't find out until later, and that ended up with me getting an adecotomy from Dr. Stephen Parnes, who is my current ENT also. He's the one that did the Tier 3 modified radical mastectomy on my left ear in 2019. Yep. So if I say I didn't hear you, guess what? I didn't hear you. Some people say I have selective hearing. Do I? Maybe just a little. But I do still have quite a bad hearing deficit. I can hear better out of my right ear than my left ear. Of course. In my left ear, I had a cholesteatoma behind my eardrum. The small bone all the way to the far side of from my eardrum, it's called the stapes. There's only a remnant piece of that left. The ingus bone, which is the middle bone behind the eardrum, That's known as the ingus, and it's gone. The cholesteatoma completely dissolved to that bone. And the mastoid bone, the one that's up against the eardrum, the only thing that's left of that is the anvil. Everything else was eroded at by the cholesteatoma. The cholesteatoma was eroding at the mastoidal air cells that are towards the back of your ear and up towards your skull. It was eroding at those, and they had to use a 4 and a 6 beaver tail saw and grind away at the mastoidal air cells in order to get rid of the cholesteatoma that was up in that region. It was on its way to killing me. It was eroding through those bones, and it was on its way to causing meningitis, inflammation of the brain, which would have killed me. Well, the, why did I wait to go to the doctor? I wouldn't do housekeeping and laundry. I got away from that. I've been trying to get away from that since I left Price Chopper. If I went to a hospital, I would go into the kitchen to cook. I almost did get a job at Columbia Memorial Hospital for cooking, but they'd already hired somebody for the kitchen. But they said they would keep me in mind if they need somebody. I got called, but at that time I just accepted a job at the Riverside Nursing and Rehabilitation. And then I went into the restaurant industry for a bit here. And if I end up leaving the if I end up leaving Chili's, I'll probably go back into the either the nursing home or a hospital to cook and do cooking that way. That is a possibility that it may not be for me, but I haven't been able to try a line cook yet. But if I don't make it in the restaurant industry as a cook, doesn't mean I can't own one and hire cooks to cook for me, to cook with me. I could hire other chefs and then just cook alongside of them. That way, I can make sure that the things are being done right and still cooks the things I enjoy cooking. Because I do love to cook. But I asked my GM today if he can start training me on the line. He said he didn't have time right now. I said, well, when you do, can you please start training me for a line cook? He said, okay. I said, yeah, he will. So I'll have to see how that works out. It's 1:01 a.m. where I am. 1:01 in the morning. I think it's time for me to go to bed. Talk to y'all later. Y'all take care. Okay. Good night, everybody. I'm off to bed. Sweet dreams. God bless and good night.